Welcome back. It is Eric's Drink Whiskey. Miller here.
Simpson here.
And we had an awesome time with Scotchtober. Special thanks to the Scotch Test Dummies for coming on and doing a little tasting of the famous grouse with us. It was a lot of fun, just a tremendous month. But now, October's over. So what are we looking at now, Eric?
We are looking at the man, the myth, the legend, Wild Turkey.
That's right. It is November. We got Turkey Day at the end of the month. We're doing turkey all month. So
all November.
Do a little plug for a friend of ours who was previously on the show. We're going to give you, or I'll say our resident Wild Turkey fanboy is going to give you a little bit of the background and history of each of these fine beverages we'll be drinking. But if you want to know the in-depth story, check out American Spirit Wild Turkey Bourbon from Rippy to Russell by David Jennings, also known as Rare Bird 101. He's got the scoop on everything from the very, very humble beginnings of the brand up to present, and also just a really cool guy. So what are we drinking tonight, Eric? What are we kicking folks off with?
So we got Wild Turkey 101. This is... It is I'm about to screw up here. It is actually an age-stated product. It does not say it on the front of the bottle, but it does say it on the back. I'll just read this little blurb here. Alrighty, so we got, for more than 60 years, legendary master distiller Jimmy Russell has been crafting Wild Turkey 101 the right way with a high rye content. This iconic bourbon is perfectly aged for up to 6 to 8 years old. American oak barrels with the deepest char for more character. A little smaller backstory. So most of Wild Turkey 101 lifespan, it's been an 8-year age statement. I believe it goes all the way back, we'll pass my lifetime there, but it's been 8 years old, but they dropped the age statement of 8 years old in the American market in the early 90s. If I have that correct, which was funny because that was the hip thing to do in the bourbon boom was drop age statements, and Turkey actually did it in the early 90s before the boom, and they did it the other way around because Japan wanted to buy a lot of Wild Turkey age stated products, and we weren't drinking them much over here, so we actually started sending age stated Wild Turkey over into Japan, who still actually gets full on hard numbered age statement expression. I think they have an 8, they have a 12, and a 13. We get some one-off stuff, and we're getting more and more now. But the product that we have today is one of, if not the best, age to price to taste range, easily accessible bourbons you can find on the market. For 6 to 8 years old, 101 proof at $23. It is one of the more powerful and characteristically not intense isn't the word, but just flavorful bourbons you can find for $23. If I do say so myself.
You do. And when we first started this little adventure, you made it abundantly clear you're a Wild Turkey fanboy. You have to bear with me if my microphone is picking up my Ellie the whiskey dog downstairs. Got a bunch of kids playing outside. And
instead of Eric's Drink Whiskey EDW, we have Ellie the whiskey dog EWD.
So yeah, it was probably 6 months ago I finally picked up a bottle of 101. And I did it because I was chatting up the manager at the liquor store and didn't want to walk out empty-handed. So I was like, well, hell, I'll just grab this off the shelf. I did, and I brought it home, and it's fantastic. It's good. It's just good bourbon. And it, like Eric said, the back of the bottle says it's between 6 to 8 years. Common kind of hearsay is there's a lot of older shit in there to kind of even it out, but the youngest is around there. But it's got the right amount of oak. It's got the right amount of spice. Yeah, I don't consider Wild Turkey a high rye bourbon at all.
Well, it's funny because when this was invented, that was the high rye.
Okay, so this was pre Four Roses, OGD, and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Four Roses was a part of Seagram's. Back in the day, it wasn't its own entity, and I'm not 100% sure that they were going the 10 different recipes. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was its own. It was a whole separate deal. And then Four Roses eventually became the big conglomerate of what it is. It doesn't get any better than this for a. I mean, I call it a budget bourbon, but this is one of my go-tos, and I will put this over just about anything unless it's another turkey product.
And I think for our Instagram followers, 101 was in your lineup and our combined lineup, right?
Yep.
Right.
For the
this is damn good bourbon. And I mean, we could jaw jack about it all day. How about we just drink this and tell the folks how good it is?
I want to drink some damn 101.
I can already. They don't chill filter. Is that true?
They do chill filter the 101.
I'm still getting a lot of oil up, or a nice little oiliness on my glass.
Now remember, this is a 116 entry proof.
That's true. So we're not dropping it that far.
Right. Most do 125, so this is not getting dropped super much. Big burst of like black cherry, brown sugar, just boozy fountain drinks. Like cherry syrup, cola. Weirdly
it's funny, we did the tasting with Rare Bird, and I was picking up on some kind of piney notes in the Rare Breed rye and the Russell's rye that we did. I'm getting a smidge of those coming through on this too. Damn, that smells good. I mean, yeah, there's a uniqueness to it all its own, but kind of at the base level, like it's all building on that like brown sugar vanilla, like that just your stereotypical bourbon smells, I think. It's a beautiful color.
Good maple syrup. It's just not. It's just nice drinking a bourbon with character. And no offense to Scotch, because Scotch is my first love. But after pretty much a month and a half of drinking Scotch, and then hitting to Wild Turkey 101, it's just refreshing.
Yeah, there's. I'm gonna drink it now.
No, I've already had 3 sips.
Oh, okay. I'm trying.
Oh my god, it's just a good Kentucky hug.
I'm with you. We've been drinking Scotch because I think we started drinking Scotch before Scotchtober.
Yeah, so
that we could intelligently talk about Scotch, or at least talk about Scotch in coherent words.
Right.
And so it's that new oak barrel that gives it that character, I think. So and I think this is 101 Wild Turkey 101 is 101 proof.
Yep.
And most of your bottom shelf stuff. I mean, I'm just looking at most of the stuff I've got here in my daily drinker cabinet. My Buffalo Trace is 90. My Makers is 90. Fighting Cock Drink Hot. Four Roses is 80. My 2 Evan Williams are 80-ish. Everything except my Beam Bonded is 86. I mean, like, I feel like your average whiskey drinker is looking to up their game, like me still, is used to drinking a lower proofed bourbon.
Yep.
And because I'm guilty of this as well, I would always associate proof with how hot it is. Like, how much is it going to burn the back of my throat or burn on the way down, or that initial spice. And the thing that you kind of learn is that's not necessarily true.
Right.
Now you got to drink enough whiskey to make that not true. But and I think a lot of it has to do with the aging process. Because 101 proof, it doesn't drink hot. You get that Kentucky hug, as Eric called it. There's a little bit of a heat there, especially going down, but that's good. You get a little bit of the right. It's a well crafted, well balanced bourbon. It's not, I think, for somebody who's used to drinking these 86ers, it's a good step up to see what the higher proof brings to you in flavor.
And I think the 86 proof is a good that's a good midway point. If you're trying to start out in a bourbon and you want a little bit of flavor, I wouldn't just give straight up 80 proof. I wouldn't give that to no one. But
the question is, Wild Turkey 101. It's $23 for a 750. No, maybe $23 for a liter or a handle. I can't remember. I
think Total Wine has it for. I think Total Wine has regular one, like the 750 for $23, and I think a handle is like 30.
So $23 for a 750. We're talking a 6 to 8 year old product, 101 proof. So if you haven't quite worked up to drinking 101 proof, you throw an ice cube in it, and it wouldn't hurt it too bad. Is this something that you would recommend to a novice bourbon drinker or somebody who is bourbon curious as like a gateway bourbon?
That's tough. At its price point, yes. At its price point, and with it being the brand that it is, it will have a 375 and a mini. I think this is well worth. If you're trying to get into bourbon or bourbon curious, it is well worth the try. Because you never know, you might like it. And if you're buying a 375 or a 50 mil, 50 mil, it's 50 mil run you like what, $2, $3 maybe.
Yeah.
And that's more, way less than what you're going to pay for that same amount at a bar.
Now, what about 101 do you think would be adverse to the palate of somebody new to bourbon?
I don't want to speak any ill of people that are that love the 80 proof whiskeys, but like I said, a small percentage of the population are bourbon nerds and whiskey nerds like we are. The adverse thing that you would find with 101 as a novice is it could be too much at one time. I
just took another sip just a little bit ago, and I have to agree with that. Our go-to is Evan Williams White Label, bottled in bond. That one's 4 years old.
Yep.
Probably not a day over. You still got a lot of that sweetness. You still got a lot of corn. You don't have a lot of rye spice. Right. And that's, when I did my pick, my daily drinkers as Jim Beam Bonded, because it's got that little bit more of a kick. I feel like with this, you got a little bit more of that rye kind of tingle, and you've also got a fair amount of oak on it with that alligator char and the amount of time that's been in the barrel. And I think that to a palate that hasn't experienced it before, that's going to come across as very harsh.
Yeah.
So I will agree with your assessment that maybe 101, not for the first time bourbon drinker, but if you've been drinking bourbon, definitely shell out. And you will be able to find it at, I guarantee you, every single liquor store you go to. It will not be marked up, and it's consistent. It's not a single barrel. It's not, a limited release. There's no gimmicks. It's Wild Turkey 101. It's been Wild Turkey 101 for what, 20, 30 years.
But yeah, now I've enjoyed this, and it's been one of my staples. And it will forever be my staple, throughout my whiskey career. It's just a good, solid whiskey, and as long as there's a Russell name behind it, I will always be behind it with them.
Now, folks,
where can they find us, Eric?
you can find us on Instagram at Eric's_drink_whiskey. We are, if you go there, it's full of bottles of what we're currently drinking, where we're going, and things like that. It's also kind of where we'll promote what our next release is. But the best way to get in on the ground floor when we drop a new video is go ahead and subscribe to our channel. There's going to be a little do-jigger at the end of this video that you'll be able to click, subscribe right in there. Because one, that helps the YouTube data machine put our videos out there more and suggest it to more people. The other thing it does is as soon as we post a new video, you'll get a little notification that we've got something new up. So you definitely don't want to miss that, because again, this is the first of our, I don't know, what are we calling this? Turkey month? We'll just call it Turkey month.
Yeah, I'm right.
Leading up to Turkey Day, where I guess you could also drink wild turkey depending on how your family gatherings are.
I do every year.
But yeah, so don't miss out. This is the first of probably many great products that Eric's got lined up for us this month as our resident wild turkey expert. So thank you so much for sticking with us. We appreciate your support. And until next time, folks, cheers.